Yeah, Brad Burke.
All right, we're here with Brad Burke. Brad is a pro fighter. He's been fighting all over the country. Brad, when did you start fighting?
I started in MMA, my first competition back in '98. Started competing then. Things have changed a lot. Competed for about 4 years. Actually left MMA, wasn't how it is now. Competed in Sauna kickboxing for 4 years, and then finally came back about 2-3 years ago. Started competing again, and it's a great thing right now.
How has it changed and evolved since '98? '98 was really close to the start.
Right. Back then you had, a lot of your smaller promotions were starting, and what happens, you go from promotion to promotion. There was really no set of rules. Weight classes weren't really established. They were just really starting to get established in Ultimate Fighting Championship. So I say now it's more of a sport than it was then.
Okay. How has people's training and preparation changed? Was it more like a bar fight then? Just whoever showed up was in it?
Yeah, you get a lot of bar fight. You would get a lot of the specific martial art guys. Guys that had the Taekwondo background, guys that just had a Jiu-Jitsu background. Where the cross training is not even thought of cross training; it's a must.
Okay. What was your background when you got into it?
I had a karate background. Going in. Did have no ground. Found that out the hard way. It's one thing you cannot have in MMA. Then I started doing judo and jiu-jitsu and all those things to try to catch up.
Okay, and how did your training, what did you go through? Did you stop focusing on your stand-up and just go straight to...
For a long period of time, I literally had to quit the stand-up. Not that I was terrific at it or anything like that, but I had to focus on something that I was going to, there was no rounds in some of the fights, so if you went to the ground, you could be down there for 10 minutes. So you had to learn how to survive down there and try to move to an area where I can be offensive on the ground, so start doing submissions and stuff.
Okay, what would you say gave you the the best advantage as you kept competing now? What brought you back into it? What made you competitive?
I was doing the kickboxing, and it's just not as big. There's not as much competition. MMA really is, I would say, the combat sport right now. So I guess to continue my, being competitive, that's what brought me back. And you get treated a lot better than you used to. So.
How what have you seen change that you think are positives, and what kind of do you miss about the old way, or is there anything you miss?
Positives, you get a lot more, variety. You're in better venues. I remember fighting in little shindig bars and gymnasiums, and now we're fighting in casinos and stuff like that. The thing I miss is there's a little bit more politics in it. Before it was a little, let's say, tighter group. You knew everybody. Not that I don't know a lot of people now, but it was a little tighter group. You didn't have everybody running into it. But that's a good thing too, because that's how they're going to make the money. Keep doing this.
All right. So you've been competing for 10 years. Where have you competed over that time span?
I started off, my first fight was down in El Paso, Texas, Florida. I've competed a lot in Indiana and the East Coast, especially I was doing kickboxing. But MMA, probably majority of my fights have been in Indiana.
Any kind of memorable events that you stick out in your mind?
Yeah, usually the ones I win. Usually when I knock someone out, that's always, to me, you get a big high off it. Winning's good, but when you knock someone out, you always have like a big high.
Okay, now that you're back into it, what is your training like on a weekly basis?
I hit the gym for the weight training. I'm getting a little older, so I keep the cardio going to keep my fat down. Just started to come out here at the Self-Defense Academy to work with Dominic O'Grady and stuff. And then I have my own team. I train with Roman Fight Team. So we do that twice a week. I usually come out here, and then I'm in the gym a couple days a week. So.
Okay. What is your philosophy as far as training? Do you have a...
my thing is I really enjoy it, and I'm going to train hard, and I'll do it until it gets to the point where I don't enjoy it anymore, and hopefully I'll be like 70 by then, but just keep doing what I enjoy and keep, do what makes you, fulfills you in life.
All right, it's in your career, and this is, it's a new sport, but it's still a long career. What has been kind of what's kept you going? Just do you enjoy it that much, or?
Probably my competitive nature. I think about not doing it right now, and it's probably worse than, getting hit in the head. So.
All right. What when you prepare for a fight, you find out a couple months in advance you're going to fight. What does the training change from, like you described it, for the week now? How do you ramp it up?
Well, it's in the situation I'm in. I think it's kind of rare to get that much. Usually you have maybe like a month notice. But as soon as you do find out the opponent, you try to get footage, see specific movements, how he moves, what he likes, and then try to create a strategy and start training towards that strategy.
All right. Now you can't compete in Michigan anywhere except for in King of the Cage on the Indian casinos. Do you think it's a positive that with the way they're changing the rules to allow it to come into the other venues, or do you think that it won't matter, because it's already here?
I would love to go fight right down the street or go right down to Detroit and fight one of those casinos. As far as the legislation, I guess it depends. And I think they should have legislation to protect the amateurs, but they can't get to a point where you're going to hurt the amateur competition either.
Okay.
And as far as a professional, I love to have professional so I can fight. And finally, my closest fight right now is Soaring Eagle, which is about a 3-hour drive from here. And I still bring a good amount of people, but it's still a haul. People have to go out there. Someone will drive back, someone will get rooms. Casino loves it, but it's nice thing just for them to go down the street and watch me fight.
When you're training, you do a mix of the different styles. What would you say you focus on the most? What's your bread and butter now? My
bread and butter is still stand-up. Especially coming from the Sonic kickboxing where I was able to get a world championship and fight international competitors. I feel like what I'm fighting in MMA right now, plus I have a pretty good handle on that portion, so I still do that. I threaten it and I use that to set up other strategies for my fighting. A lot, majority of my last fights, guys rush out and all they're going to do is try to hold me against the cage and bring me down, so we're going to adjust the strategy towards that.
Okay. Your last fight was just a couple weeks ago, right?
My last fight was in November. I was supposed to fight, and things got mixed up. So.
All right. Where was your fight in November at?
It was at Soaring Eagle Casino.
All right. How'd that go?
I fought for the middleweight championship, King of the Cage. It went to decision, and I lost.
Okay. You gonna be looking to get back for a rematch?
That's my plan right now.
All right.
Try to go back for that. It was kind of one of those things. I was training for, a strong, tough slugger. Spent all my time doing that. Last week, something happened. He couldn't make it. He got hurt. They pulled in a guy, and it was basically a ground guy that brought me down. So it was kind of a tough thing, but move on. Hopefully, work my way back and avenge myself.
All right, great. How old are you now?
I'm 31. Getting old.
31. All right. So you started when you were 21.
Yeah.
Way back in there. Well, 20 probably.
Yeah,
21, 22.
Just about to turn 21.
All right. In your time off, did you miss it, or
Yeah, there's been. I think I've seen every UFC. I never stop following it. I'll always be a fan, even if I'm not competing. I also got into something else, and I think that helped me for competition in MMA.
Okay.
So I don't think it was a bad thing. Did I miss it? Yes, I always follow it. So.
Okay, great. Who's going to win tonight, Penn or St. Pierre?
St. Pierre, of course.
Thanks.